All right, let's talk some MMA. We'll bring in the host of Ringside Report Radio Wednesdays and Fridays right here on TSN 990 at 10 p.m. You can also check out ringsidereport.net for the latest. It is Dave Simon. Dave Simon MMA, by the way, on Twitter. How you doing?
Yes, good. It's down to crunch time. 3 people left on Celebrity Apprentice. We find out tonight who gets fired, and then it's going to be down to the final 2. Will it be Aubrey, Clay, or Arsenio?
What are we talking about here? I thought we were talking some MMA.
I'm thinking Aubrey and Arsenio.
All right. Are they going to fight?
No, they're not going to.
All right. Well,
fight.
let's talk some fight.
This
is my outlet
thing.
once a week. I'm not a MMA guy. Mm-hmm. I don't read up on the sport extensively.
You don't know anything about
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I bring you in. You get all pumped up for this segment. I get jacked to hear about these guys hitting each other. Yeah. I don't want to hear about Celebrity Apprentice. I want to hear about MMA and the latest event coming up, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. What do we got?
You don't even want to talk about Howard Stern on America's Got Talent tomorrow?
I love Howard Stern. I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited.
But let's stick
all right,
to the,
okay. MMA Tuesday night, MMA, UFC. Yeah. Saturday night, Strikeforce. So
big week.
Big week.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So what's
being put out by
why
the UFC.
Tuesday night?
I don't know. Because.
All right. Dave Simon, ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to him Wednesday.
There's no reason. It's just that was the day that they were able to do it, so they did it. It's weird. It's
is this
maybe
to not conflict with Strikeforce? Is that it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they could have done it on a Wednesday or a Monday or whatever. They just chose Tuesday.
What kind of card are we talking about here? Is this sort of a feeler to see what people's interest is during the week?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a card that they wanted to put together, and they put it together. They have a certain amount of dates that they have to do for Fuel TV and for Fox and for FX, part of their big deal with Fox. So this is the time when they were able to do the card, and they're putting the card together. It's an interesting...
So where is this going to be seen?
It's going to be on Fuel TV in the States. It's taking place in Fairfax, Virginia, and it'll air here in Canada on Sportsnet as... all the UFC shows air there.
All right, so what are we looking at for a main event?
You've got the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung, taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier. It's a pretty interesting featherweight main event. Very likely that the winner of this fight will be the next number 1 contender at 145 pounds in the UFC. The champion, of course, Jose Aldo, one of the best fighters in the world. He's basically like the Anderson Silva at 145 pounds. In fact, Anderson has said that if Jose Aldo fought at 185, where Anderson reigned supreme, Anderson would just retire. He wants no piece of Jose Aldo. That's how good Aldo is. He's going to be fighting on the 21st of July in Calgary at UFC 149, defending his title against Eric Koch. But I fully expect that the winner of tomorrow night's fight,
will fight
especially if Dustin Poirier comes out victorious, I think maybe if Chan Sung Jung gets the win, he might have to fight once or twice more before getting a title shot. But I think if Poirier wins, he's definitely deserving of that shot and will get it with a win on Tuesday night.
All right, featherweight for the main event. You're good with that?
Yeah, I think featherweights are fantastic. I think, if it's a big fight, it deserves to be in the main event. And on this card, it is the biggest fight. There are some interesting fights on this card. You've got a lightweight co-main event, Donald Cerrone taking on Jeremy Stevens. Yves the Tiger Jabouin, a guy who's born in Haiti but lives here in Montreal. He's a Montrealer. He's going to be fighting Jeff Hoagland on the card. We've got a couple Canadians on the card. So, it's interesting. You've got Jason the Athlete McDonald from out in Calgary, TJ Grant from Nova Scotia. He's going to be fighting. Those fights, though, will be on the Facebook prelims. So Facebook fights start on facebook.com/UFC at around 5 p.m. and then the main card at 8.
All right. You mentioned Montreal, another guy in Montreal, similar to boxing in the 80s and now again here where there's fighters now based in Montreal or at least training out of here. Montreal, fair to say, a very big MMA hub.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, Georges St. Pierre is a big reason why Montreal is such a hub for mixed martial arts, but it really is, it's a TriStar gym right now. Faraz Zahabi doing just a fantastic job. And it's not just Faraz, it's Ayman Zahabi, and it's a whole team that they have over there at the TriStar gym, just doing a fantastic job and bringing in guys from all over Canada to come here to Montreal and train here. And not just Canada, really. It's all over the United States, all over the world. People are coming to Montreal to train with the TriStar Gym, to train with Georges St. Pierre. And that's why we have so many good fighters that are representing Montreal. You have Miguel Torres, an American guy. He represents Montreal when he goes out there. Rory McDonald from British Columbia. He represents Montreal. So you have a lot of talent that are living here, that are training here. And that's why it's such a hotbed for mixed martial arts, because we know how to fight here, and we love to do it.
Works out well for a show like yourself, where you're able to talk with these guys one-on-one in person, watch them train, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no doubt. It's good to be in Montreal. Covering the sport of mixed martial arts, there's no other place in Canada I would rather be than Montreal.
In the U.S., I think I remember listening to Ringside Report where you guys were talking about a guy in, where was it, Oklahoma or something like that? Or
the King of the Cage are you talking about?
Trying to remember, some trainer that's well-known, something like that, or there's somebody in Middle America maybe, or the South, or where are the big hubs in the U.S.?
There are trainers all over the world. I think
Sure.
that the biggest spot right now in the United States is the state of California. Just north, south, all over California, there are mixed martial artists. You have just a countless number of fighters that are training out of there. You've got Uriah Faber up in Sacramento with his team Alpha Male. He's got a bunch of great fighters there. You've got the Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu guys, Nate Diaz, up in Northern California, up in Stockton. So many fighters just all around the state of California. I think that's a major hub. Of course, Las Vegas, a lot of fighters live and train there.
Sure.
So the west of the United States, but really all over. You're getting a lot of guys in New Jersey. That's becoming a really big hub, New Jersey and New York. That whole area is
Even though you can't fight in New York.
Yeah, you can't fight professionally in the state of New York yet, which is just ridiculous at this point in the game. But a lot of those guys are training in Jersey, and you can train in New York. You just can't fight there professionally. So I think those places, but California, if you're talking the United States, I would say that would be the biggest hotbed of mixed martial arts. But really, at this point in the game, you've got fighters coming from everywhere. I mean, back in the day, it was in Iowa. You had Pat Miletich and Matt Hughes and their training camp, and everybody thought Iowa's the place. You've got people out in Minnesota doing good things. You've got Matt Hume in the state of Washington with AMC Pankration. You really have big training centers all over the world. Duke Rufus out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is attracting fighters from all over the world. I talked to a guy from Germany, Pascal Kraus, came from Germany to the United States and settled in Milwaukee just to train with Duke Rufus.
Wow, maybe he's a big Packers fan.